Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. 2015, I think it's a 2015 Ford Focus Hot Rod Edition. That's the ST. Coolant leak. Let me get my thought process correct. But this thing here's got a coolant leak anyway. The customer actually broke down over here. He's not from this area, like every time on the weekend. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. He pretty much self-diagnosed it. Over here with the right there, right about in this area, right in here, down below, there is two hoses that go into the heater core, and the one on my side apparently looks like it's busted. I got to make sure that I'm not running my head in there so I don't cuss in the camera. But anyway, let's get a pressure tester on this and see if we can confirm the customer self-diagnosis. Again, today I'm using my Astro kit, not a sponsor. Alright, so we are making pressure. That part is good. Astro, if you ever run across this video, please put in an application guide into your kit. This really blows to have to go through there every time and try to figure out what's what. So much nicer to have an application guide. Now, I did make the guy aware that these fittings are sometimes hard to come by, and that we may have to hook this up in another way. These are the slip type connectors, and it looks to me like this is a customer did already find his leak. There it goes. There's our leak, and we're nearly empty here on air. So, oh yeah, one of them is good, the other one is blowed out, so means we're going to have to take intake and everything off of it. On this one here, that's about the only way you'll really make yourself enough room to get to it. So we got the bands here on our expansion joint. We've got a bolt over here, some bolts over here. We're going to break it apart here on this joint and then go below and break it apart there as well. That's going to be hard to get the camera in there, so I'm not even going to try. This is some basic stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and take this part out. And get this camera around here. Maybe you can see what I see. I don't know. Alright, so we got this part here off. I'm gonna lay my bolts up here. We got the hose over here for the ventilation. It's got to come off, and we'll have to see what we need to do to get this bottom off. That little guy right there looks pretty loose. My opinion, that's not the first time that's been off, but anyway, want to try a wobble. I do believe that is a 7 mil down there. I'm going to try a wobble, and look to me like a long extension would do it. I'm going to go wide open with it. That way I'm not going to have to fight this and do this twice. It's about the length of the extension. I don't know what kind of extension it is. Probably about a 14. We're definitely going to get the customer a better seal on that thing. So now then, now with all this out of the way, come on, sorry tripod, hanging up on everything. Actually get you down a little bit. Zeus, quit horsing. So right here is the hose. That one right there, Jesus Christ, I just ran the glasses into the friggin' hood prop. Yeah, this is relatively easy to get to right now. Let me see. I'm gonna get the hood prop down and get my mechanic shop hood prop. I'm gonna exchange this hood prop here. Get it out of my way. Alright, now. Awesome. So that part is broke off, I think. Looks like it. Looks like the problem was on the underside of it. It's going to be a tough shot to get light in there enough to really see what I'm doing. Yeah, she's soaked. Let me pause you up. Right. So there's really not no room right there. I'm trying to pry these little tabs a little bit, and we're going to use some air to clean that up. They make a tool for that because these have to be clocked in the right position, and they make a tool for that, and it's a 39200 by Lyle. Not a sponsor, but these are invaluable for doing these, because these here are normally brittle and they're going to want to break. And that's why I want to blow it out with air, so any dirt buildup, we might be able to help us a little bit to get some of that dirt out of there, in hopes that it will slide a little bit easier. You know, working on something like that, you're going to for sure see comments like, you know, why do they have to make this crap? You know, why couldn't they leave it alone and do it like they did in the old days with hose clamps? I'm not a Ford engineer, so I don't have the answer. I'm sorry about the camera, guys. It is what it is. The fitting should turn counterclockwise. Well, camera is backwards, so anyway, I'm gonna try to move it. Whoa, she's moving, ladies and gentlemen. She's moving. I hope the camera can see that. My head out of the way. I don't know if it's completely clocked out or not. No, it is not. We still got a little ways to go. There goes my little pocket screwdriver. Little pry bar over here. I'll try to stay out of the way, folks, but you know, I can only do what I can do. Well, I might be, yeah. Camera is not going to be good. My head's going to be in the way. Yeah, maybe a longer screwdriver. I don't know. I keep telling myself I'm going to go and buy the tool, and I keep forgetting. The local parts store doesn't have it. I don't think they didn't. They did the last time. I think I heard it click. Somewhat click. This may be it. No, that is not it. I don't know. And I cannot see the bottom of the notch. It's living in a notch, and I can't see the notch. Be careful. I know that looks like I'm hitting on it, but I'm not really hitting on it that hard, so I'm gonna zoom you guys back out. You know kind of where I'm at here. Well, this is where I'm at. I think it's all the way loose now. It's just a matter of persuading it out of there now. And I don't know. Oh, I don't know how that thing failed. I don't even know what's wrong with it. I wished I could show that to you, but So I'm trying to undo a bracket that holds these hoses in place. That's what I'm doing, in case you're wondering what I'm doing. So we'll get a little bit better access to this hose. So here's the hose, and yeah. I kind of figured the fitting would have busted, but it really honestly doesn't look like the fitting busted. Feels smooth. Where right before the notch there is an O-ring, and that O-ring seal, or whatever that seal is, well, as usual, my eyes don't allow me to see it. I can only go by feel, so to speak. Lock it in place and see what that does. So the seal is kind of, well, non-existing to from where I'm standing. I said I can only pause you up and see if I can see. Get some different glasses. I'll be darned. I wished I would have left the camera running. Hindsight 2020. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Ain't no way that camera gonna zoom into that. I don't think. We'll give it a shot. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that shot. It's got a notch out of it, guys. Now, I'm going to tell you, here's what's going to happen. Well, I'm not going to tell you. Actually, I'm going to run down to the parts store and see what we can come up with, because in reality, this fitting should be replaced. At the age range of this vehicle, that really should all be replaced. But I know that I'm not going to be able to get these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the O-ring seal for right now, pressure test the system, make sure the guy can get on back where he came from, wherever that is in Missouri, and we'll let him know that that I highly recommend him change these parts out, these hoses out, not parts, but hoses. So let me run to the parts store. I shall return, maybe. All right, so I did match me up an O-ring. I mean, if it isn't right, it's so close it ain't gonna make a difference. It's a 3/32 cross section, 3/4, I think. So the key thing here is going to be to make sure that this is clean. We're going to want this clean. What I'm going to do is I got some of these Harbor Freight, not a sponsor. I got some of the bristle brushes from them, and we'll see if that fits in that fitting. Of course, I got all the people on the friggin' motorcycles around town today, because it's a really nice day over here. You know, if anybody would ever come up with a light that's truly genuinely used all over the place, they would make a mint. Anyway, here is what I got. This is my soft bristle brush. I'm gonna go backwards and go forward. So we'll give that a good brushing on the inside. And you can laugh at me all you want. I'm gonna put my little Magnavision on and check and make darn sure there's no little cracks that I can see or anything like that in the plastic. I do want that customer to be able to drive this thing safely. And we'll see if I can't see micro fractures or something like that in there. To be honest, this actually all looks pretty good. The hose is not deteriorated. by any means. So what remains now is to get this O-ring put in here. If that don't fit, you'll know right away. Well, if it's too big or too little, it won't lay in the groove correctly. And that's basically game over for what I'm trying to accomplish here. Oh man, that thing is laying perfect. It's a perfect fit, looks just like it did when I pulled it out. Sorry about my noggin being in the way, but it is what it is. Yeah, we got some crud on top of that. Let me do a little something here because I've got the sun beaming in on me now, and I can't see it, blinding me. So I was able to get a wire brush, a little brush like this on my Dremel, and clean that off. That is very important to me. May not be to some people, but it is to me because I know that any amount of crud on there can not make it seal. Yeah, now the trick is we're going to spray the fitting with a little bit of what I'm going to use. I mean, you can use anything, but what I'm going to use is maybe I got some more of the yeah, I got some more of the fluid film here in the can. I'm gonna put some of that in there, which is a type of grease, and it's not gonna hurt it. You know, you don't want to douse it in there, but now there's arrows on here that have to be lined up. Well, that's open, and then there's also a notch inside that fitting, which I cannot show you. The arrow will have to line up with that, and that is your notch. And naturally, this grease on there is going to make it slide very, very easy. It makes that O-ring slide right on there. Now we need to lock the tab in place, which is hopefully not. There we go. I think I heard it snap even, so that's good. That's great. So we'll give that a good tug, and well, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to throw a little bit of pressure on the system. Matter of fact, these is sometimes hard to go on as well, so let's put a little bit of grease on those too. Should make it a lot easier. Oh yeah, it does. Make it a whole lot easier. This damn light that I hung up there is right in the way of my noggin. That's okay. I'll bring you along here. So, well, then I'm going to go to about 20 psi. Stop it right there at 20. Now 20 is quite a bit. That right there is what I'm going to go by. Hopefully you can see that. Anyway, if you can't see it, it's 21 psi is what this cap is. So 20 psi is safe, and right now 20 psi is holding. So I am fairly confident that this is going to work. Now, in the past, You know, years ago I've been burnt by some things, and one of the things you get burnt by is only because the system can take pressure. That does not mean it's going to hold under a vacuum. Just saying. A lot of times you can tell by the way a system pulls in the vacuum. I mean, by the speed of it and all that good stuff, how fast the gauge is going up. We are completely in the red as far as the vacuum is concerned. And it's not bleeding off. Of course, it's got to set for just a little bit. Now, there's not a lot of coolant missing in the system. You know, this guy here knows enough about automobiles. He got sense enough as soon as it started getting remotely hot, he shut it off and quit. Oh, trust me, none of the steps that I've taken to fix this issue is really, there was nothing I did a waste of time is what I'm trying to say. And our vacuum is the same point right now than what it was. So it's about to get filled up. I do not have any of the Ford coolant. So this is what we're going to use. The G05, not Z05, G05, Ford, Chrysler, Mercedes. It's, like I said, that's all I got right now. So that's what's going to have to be. What I did here is made my own 50-50 mix. Vacuum. Still good. Normally I have a little bit of distilled water over here, but in the winter time I opt not to leave it sitting in here just in case. You don't never know. I do have a filtration system in my water supply, so it's better water anyhow. So it's not going to be a big deal. And before I even get a comment on why I don't use a 50-50, the premix, all it is versus the concentrate is the fact that they mix it up with distilled water. They mix it at a 50-50 rate. I can do the same thing here, save the customer some money, and the outcome is going to be the same. If you have a look at your local parts stores, the 50-50 a lot of times is about $2 less than the concentrate. Anyway, what I was going to say, considering that the concentrate and the 50-50 is going to give it away, the name gives it away, it's mixed 50-50. So anyhow, that being said, you know, I don't want to waste the stuff. I want to do it as cheap as I can for the customer. Now that we got the system filled up, I've got to drain it back. If you get you one of these here, really, in all honesty, the best thing to do is get you a bucket with hot water, warm water, hot water, whatever, and rinse the hoses out. The antifreeze tends to do something to the hoses. I don't know the chemical reaction that takes place, but anyway, it does something to it. It's just a tip. Coolant system nice and full. Get this little hot rod hopping again, hopefully. Open K&N air filter. So the only way that I'm going to turn the camera back on is if this actually starts getting hot on me, which I don't think it's going to. Yeah, like, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. All right, I'm going to give you a quick update. I normally don't, I know. I went ahead and drove it around a little bit to make sure. I'm fairly confident in my repairs, but that does not constitute not being able to make or have something happen after a repair. So it is better to go test drive your vehicles anytime you're working on one. It's best to go test drive it, and I did, and this one is perfectly fine. Temperature came up where it's supposed to be, like it's supposed to, right away, and stayed there nice and steady, no movement, perfect. Repair done. We'll see you on the next one.